Hey there guys, what's happening? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak really briefly about laziness. First of all, if you want to tackle laziness, you're going to have some kind of a game plan or a plan of action, because you might have a certain condition. Maybe you have like chronic fatigue or some kind of underlying issues that might be making you feel low on energy, which is actually translating towards like, oh, I'm lazy. That might not be the case. So I would actually go to a doctor and go for a checkup and recognize like, okay, why are my energy levels so low? Why are my energy levels feeling so depleted? Where is my energy actually going towards, right? It might be so many things that are depleting your energy, which is then translating and transmitting this kind of lack of energy as laziness. So that's the first thing I want you to note. Second thing is, if you call yourself lazy, you're going to stay there, okay? If you call yourself a productive person, if you have an identity that I'm a lazy person, just know that's not you, okay? You're not lazy, you just need encouragement. That's the first reframe that I want you to think of. Okay, you're not lazy, you just need a little bit of a push. And maybe you need to watch videos like this to get you to start taking action on things. Okay, that's completely fine. A lot of us need that push. We don't have that internal drive or that internal momentum, but sometimes we need an outside source or somebody else to tell us like, hey, you got this. Keep going. Keep pushing forward. Right? And by having that, it like really gives you that spark of energy. And when we grow up, like I know when I was growing up, like my parents would say I'm lazy, right? And so that was kind of hardwired into my mind, like, why are you so lackadaisical? Why are you so lazy? Why are you so lethargic? Okay? Now, as I heard that more and more and more, it became like the looking glass self. What that means is other people's heterosuggestions, not autosuggestions, the things you tell yourself, but other people's opinions might just create an identity for you. So if other people are calling you lazy, you might just like take on that personality trait and you start becoming lazy. Because when you say the word lazy, it's like, who do you really imagine? It's like kind of like, you're eating pop chips, you're like playing some kind of video game, and you have like Cheeto dusted fingers, and you're like, you're just like if you go more and more into the stereotype of a really truly lazy person, you're gonna stay there. Now, I have reformatted this word lazy because it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We always associate the word lazy as being a bad thing, that we're not getting enough done. Maybe you're not lazy, maybe you just need some rest. Have you considered the alternatives to this kind of character archetype? You get what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, you might just feel lazy for a second or for a moment, but that does not make you a lazy person. Okay? So the more you sort of analyze like the kind of person who would be this kind of lazy archetype, understand that that doesn't necessarily mean that that has to be you. Okay? Because you could be lazy rich as well. Okay? Now think about this. Lazy rich, right? You don't work that hard for money. Money just comes to you. That's a positive affirmation for the word rich. But if you say, I'm a lazy person, I don't get things done, that's just debilitating. But if you're saying I'm lazy rich, see, I want you to use lazy as an adjective. Okay? You're using lazy as an identifier. So if you're suffering from laziness, like the person who sent me this question was like, I'm suffering from laziness. Look, it's not some kind of a disorder, okay? First, let's get that clear. You're just lacking willpower, motivation, discipline, all these other things, right? And those come with practice, those come with time. Until you change the internal world, the external is not going to change that easily. So what I would like you to just do is write down all the things that you need to get done, okay, that you need to get done, that are going to push you forward in your life, that are going to support your momentum and your upward spiral, and just make a list of them. And I want you to prioritize this list and just keep going back to it. You don't have to do all in one day, but just keep going back to it. Keep looking at the list. You don't have to take action on the list just yet. Just keep looking at it. These are pretty much long-term, like monthly goals, okay? keep looking at it every time you wake up and every time you go to sleep. Just keep having it in your subconscious mind. Like, all right, just looking at them. Read them out loud, like you're reading a passage of poetry. Like, you have to do that in some English classes, right? You read the passage, please. You're like, okay, right? You have to kind of force to read. Make yourself read the things that you've got to do. And then once you make yourself do that and saying them out loud, that's going to actually become your mantra. And what you can do is you can add things before that, right? So it's like, let's say that you have to do the laundry, right, for the month, not the month, right? Laundry for the month. How many clothes, depends on how many clothes you have, right? Let's say laundry for the week, okay? Say, instead of saying I have to do laundry, just say I get to do laundry. Laundry's awesome. Right? Make it fun for you. Because if you constantly believe in this notion of all of these different things are boring, they're of no interest to me, somebody else can do them, I'm entitled and privileged that somebody else can handle it for me, the more you're sort of going to keep pushing it away and avoiding it. And I know, because I've done that, right, in my own life. Which is why I'm telling you, different ways in which you can actually take these little habits and actually make them much more of a ritual, much more strategic in a sense, okay? So yeah, just that's one thing. Another thing is use lazy not as an identifier, but just as a way to identify like a habit, like I'm lazy healthy. What does that imply? You're not going to do the work, okay? But then just that in the byproduct of your mind is like, yeah, I don't have to do that much work and man, I'm going to get shredded, right? It's a good habit to have, but also it might just, stop you from actually working out. So what I would actually get you to do is like, instead of the word lazy, just say natural, right? Natural, like naturally healthy, naturally rich. So instead of making lazy this thing, this outcome, which is a bad outcome and a personality type, instead you just kind of want to use it as a sense of, like lazy is a natural state of mind. Like, okay, I'm just like, because think about this, like a lion like sleeps most of the day, then it gets up, gets all that energy, and it has to use all of that energy to attack or like find its prey or like do what it needs to do in order to survive. So you don't want to become a sloth, or you don't want to become a lion either, right? That's not a high functioning optimal human male or female, right? That's kind of a strange animalistic thing to do. Like if you live in a cave and you're away from society, okay, that's fine. If you got a 9 to 5 and you got to go there, or like if you've got like little tasks to do, or if you're running a business, or if you're constantly in the activation of doing things, it might be a bit difficult to sleep all the time, right? So I want you to remind yourself, like, just sleep the necessary amount, okay? And convince yourself that, hey, maybe I slept 4 hours a night, okay? I'll tell myself, well, I've been up for 16 hours or whatever, right? So, or you can be like, you can try and convince your mind that I actually slept for more time than I have, right? Let's say you sleep 2 hours a night, but in your mind you're like, whew, I'm glad I slept 8 hours today. Boom, right? It's just a conscious effort. You might think, oh, that's not real, it's not fake, but your body, your physiology will respond very differently to how you speak it into existence. And I have tips like this in my new book. Actually, it's called TPM, Theatrical Plasticity Method. If you are interested in that, do shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll get you the details, all right, when it's out. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you. You're not lazy. Remember that. You just need encouragement, all right? Let's go. Upward spiral, gang. Let's keep going. May the flow be with you and stay legend.